You know how you say, Louis,
Yes.
that it's like that we have to suffer, but all we know is good. So
That's true. It's naivety.
Yeah, it's in us, and that's what makes us so powerful.
Yeah.
Because little kids,
naivety is also
love.
another word for purity. Purity.
Innocence. That innocence.
Yeah.
The child. It's the child.
Yeah.
They still have that because little kids will be like, "Hi,"
Yeah.
I don't even know them. I'm like, "Hi."
Oh, they sense it. They sense your soul still online.
Yeah.
Right? They sense that childlikeness within you. Yeah.
And when I was going through my craziness, the kids were not as friendly, and
it was fuck with you. It was like Stephanie's cat. It was like Stephanie's cat, yo.
Oh my God! So
this no, like that. Stephanie, you're not gonna tell them really what happened, are you?
No, I don't know.
Yo, I don't give a fuck. Yo, this girl, she had a demon, yo. She had a.
Go ahead and talk about it.
For questions, comments, and to show your support, visit us on the web at afroempath.com.
Yeah.
What?
You know what Dominican Ratchet is?
Dominican Ratchet is a female that looks really good, and she uses men for money, but she uses sex to make sure that chapeadora. So chapeadora, yeah.
Chapeadora. Okay.
So that's like a term.
Chapeadora. All right, it's official. We got it.
Chapeadora, yeah. They even have songs about it. Oh, that's what that just uses guys. Because the thing is that the root of it is actually sad, is because in Dominican Republic everybody's poor, so they would be like, okay, get with the guy that has money so that we can have money and eat.
Right.
So then it became a habit where the girls would just get with the rich
it's
guy.
a low level of prostitution.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah. So that's what happens in DR a lot, and I'm like, oh, this is so ratchet.
Upside down. You have to do it upside down.
You personally, you do either way, but I think I like to get my, this is like the conductor, right? Mm-hmm. You want your feet too?
No, I'm good.
So,
okay, I'm listening. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just so I got married younger because we were already living together.
You're saying the women in DR are poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the culture of using men for money stemmed from the poverty in that island, but you're saying that they're in a different environment and they're still carrying that same kind of mentality. Like you could probably just go to school and get a degree and be fine and not have to use men, but they're still doing it.
So it's like half of it. So like there's half that do that, and then there's other half that's go to college and get educations and they're doctors and everything else. But then there's the other half that is just that. And then now with the plastic surgery being so big, it's like, oh, let me just get my body done and use the guys for money. And it's like, oh.
They do that a lot in Brazil too. Brazilian women are similar to that too.
And it sucks because it's like then when people say they know, like, I'm from the Dominican Republic, if you look a certain way, they think that you're like that. I'm like, I'm not like that. Like, chill.
If you look a certain way, then they
what do you mean, like dark?
Like dark.
Just say that, yo, because shit.
Because unfortunately, a lot of
the
black women, they get used for sex because it's like a fantasy thing, but not really want to marry us.
Right.
So that's the type of energy that you're like. So people try to touch on you, or like, oh hey, or like, girl, like hey, like are you like rubbing my arms?
They just look at you like it's just the thing to do. Is you're easy. This is the reputation, but it's not all of us. That's
not all of us. Yeah.
So it's understandable that you would want to have something permanent, get married, settle down. I don't want this reputation. I don't want to be seen as that girl. Like I want to have my family. Yeah. It makes sense, even more so.
And then he would tell me he was like, Annette, like, you're different. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, there's girls that if you don't have any money or like you were at least a little broke, like they wouldn't date you. I'm like, really? He was like, yeah. I'm like, wait, so you telling me they don't love you? He's like, well, if you don't have no money, there's nothing. Like literally no date. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm not like that. Mm-hmm. But he was also 7 years older than me. So it was like, he was trying, then it led to him trying to mold me into who he thought I should be, and that was the worst.
The older ones. That's part of it.
Yep. They see an image of you.
You guys just both looked at me after you said that. I wonder.
I want to see how you feeling.
Well, yeah, but you're a man in this conversation.
I'm a man, but here's the thing: you guys got to realize I've been celibate for over 10 years, all right? And I've never had a bad relationship. Like even my ex-girlfriend, which I fucking cry about on the podcast like a little bitch. Like I cry about it, but even our relationship was like it had like really no passion. It was like all intellectual, all mental.
Yeah.
And
which was good.
Which is good at a certain level, but I'm saying like after we broke, we kind of parted ways. You know, we still talked for like 2-3 years afterward, man. Yeah.
Do you think maybe because of
Is
that intellectual connection y'all had was what sustained the relationship? Y'all had kind of like that friendship.
We were more of a friendship vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. More a friendship vibe. Yeah. Yeah, we met in the mind first, you know what I'm saying? And so, anyway, the point is that like, if you're looking at me, like I haven't been in enough relationships to even really be having feelings about people.
I don't know, it wasn't like personal.
I know, but I just saw you both look at me. I was thinking about they probably want to see a male perspective from how a male feels.
Yeah, and I don't want you to think we're bashing men either.
I don't think that.
He does.
I don't think that.
Okay.
But I can feel within you, like you're still hurt from this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it took
can
me.
I put a hand on you? Just you know,
yeah,
like, okay, you're loved, yo. You're loved.
Yeah.
It took me till 2016 for me to break down, and I left him in 2010. It's a long time that I didn't realize that I haven't grieved it. So remember, I told you earlier, I'm like,
she was listening
I'm listening to breakup stuff, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm processing.
No, she was listening to love songs. She's trying to make a playlist for the retreat. And she realized she couldn't get through the playlist because all these memories came up of old dudes.
So I've been listening. You don't know my story. So I got married. So I had 2 girls. I had 2 kids by 21. I got married. Oh God, I'm gonna go through my whole life story here. So pretty much got married at 20. His mom's super religious. Like, you guys need to go and do this official and blah blah. And we're I'm fucking 19. I'm like, okay, I guess, I'll do whatever we're supposed to do so we could bring our daughters in the world, right? It was super dysfunctional. He was heavily addicted to alcohol, drugs, just very narcissistic. This was 1920. So I'm a baby. I don't know what I'm doing. I moved out of the house. We live in an apartment together. I'm in high school. So it didn't last. I left him. I was 5 months pregnant with my second. And sorry. So it's just, it's so crazy talking about my life, like openly.
Yo, you women bond. Oh my God, yo, you women bond. It is so deep, yo.
It's so deep. And listen, when you're a man, and I see why we fucking both looked at him, because he's just sitting there. It's different over the phone when it's an interview and we're talking about it. It's so fucking different when you're sitting right here, like. I'm just about to not man bash, but I'm about to go into
no, you're not man.
the context of a fucked up nigga, right?
I hear you. Listen, I'm with you and I support you 100%. I'm with you. I feel it as you're feeling it. I don't feel.
Fuck,
I feel. Listen, let me tell you something right now. Like I feel. Listen. I feel.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not saying that. I'm just like, I'm agreeing.
No. I'm saying that when I feel your emotions as a woman.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck is she going on about?
Yo,
she's done. Yo,
no
more CBD. No more CBD for this
bitch. I'm tired.
No more CBD for this. She's cut off, yo.
I'm tired, y'all. I'm so fucking tired.
I can understand that. Like, I was,
Don't.
You've been this since last night, like, out.
Let me make a point, though. I'm saying, when you guys speak as women to each other about your relationship with men, I feel you as a woman. Does that make sense?
Okay, you're sensitive enough to understand that.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly it. I know I can actually feel the depth of a woman's emotions. And when I was just
Lewis. Where you been, Lewis? We should have been at Wow's nigga. No,
listen, I told you, yo. Y'all empath had to come in this world and be hurt, yo. That's what we all gotta go. We all gotta go through pain, right?
Nah, but
I won't go through all the details. So pretty much, I ended up getting with someone very recent after that breakup who was just like him. It's the same fucking demon. It's the same spirit, right? The alcohol, the kind of like a leech, kind of not really wanting to work, not really wanting to help me financially. Like, he had 2 sons he came with, whose mother was an addict. I'm surrounded by addicts, right? I'm just like, fuck. In every direction, I'm helping. And I'm trying to be this light, right? I'm trying to be this angel. I actually told him. Got drunk with this nigga and was like, I think I was sent here, like, straight up, and believed the shit, and like really fucking wanted him to believe it too. Like, I was sent here to guide you, to protect you, to love you, to go through this darkness with you. for us to come out on the other side and have this beautiful life. Because I really wanted to believe that. So it's sad as I talk about it, but I stayed with this nigga for 10 years, and I helped raise his sons. So the mom lost custody. Boys are 15, 16 now, but so pretty much like almost a decade. And I was like, the DHS called her, like, we're gonna take the boys. We had already been living together. My girls look at him as dad. They call him dad. They don't know my ex-husband. So their dad, I broke up with him, posted drugs, everything. He's still in his addiction. So I'm like, okay, he's not as bad as he was. He's not coke. He might drink a little bit. He's not, I can't compare the two. But still, it's the same fucking thing. So I'm going through that whole journey. I'm fucking, are you recording?
Yeah, I am. Your water?
Oh, no, I have.
Is your water?
It's my water.
Okay, so I keep water so you can drink,
So I'm talking in circles, man.
No, I do. It's such a...
So... Yeah, taking on these boys, mama lost custody, DHS called her, like, look, we're going to have to place them in a home. And I'm like, there's no inkling in me. I'm just like, yeah, they're going to come with us. And I'm not thinking of, this is 2 more kids you have to feed and stuff. Even though these are his kids and you love him and you're in a relationship and he's moved in with you already, I was just so open to just be like, yo, let's do this. Let's be this family. No ring, no marriage, no like written out commitment structure. Very young, I threw myself into the depths of it. I was like, you know what? Like there was just something I talk about on the podcast, like this willingness to like suffer. Like I knew it was going to be hard, but I just kept going with like it's going to be great because I believe in it, because I love them. You know what I'm saying? I want us to be, I want us to have this family and these relationships. These are the ways in which I want to connect with people. I want to have these beautiful, long-lasting, like if I have to sacrifice, I didn't realize like you don't have to do that to have meaningful and beautiful relationships. You don't have to sacrifice. You shouldn't have to suffer. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to feel like I'm going to give up every little single part of me until there's I did that twice and I stayed with him the longest. And the thing I take with me the most that I look at was really the most of that was staying for the boys, because I knew, okay, he's still having his issues. He's drinking. If he goes out there and does it alone, he's going to fail. Boys are going to suffer, but I'm not thinking of what our relationship is doing to them. They're witnessing. I'm not thinking of what it's doing to my girls, teaching them to be with a man like that, teaching the boys to be like him. Like there's all these lessons, and I started to, like how you're talking about being at that party and seeing everybody drink and just numb themselves, right, with their despair and escape in that way. That was what I was doing with my life. I was looking at my family and I was like, oh my God, I'm starting to notice little traits in the boys that they've picked up from him, or the way they talk about women, like call them females. I'm like, call a woman, just little things I'm picking up on some narcissistic, tendencies. Or like my girls, just little things I would do being an enabler or being too soft and stuff. Like you just see stuff and I'm like, okay, I gotta do something. And it took me, it took a lot. I ended up having to go to therapy. I had to tell myself like, look, you gotta step outside of yourself. At the time I wasn't real deep in that spiritual journey. I just knew I was suffering and I was like, I gotta have an outlet. What can I do? Started that for a little bit. And so Luz, I was like, I didn't finish because I wasn't honest with the therapist. I didn't want to unpack and tell her everything. So I'm like, who's this? I don't know her. And I've even in the midst of that, that's how you know you're empath. Like I didn't want her feeling that or taking that. I didn't want to put that burden on her. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I know how I can be overwhelming. I don't want her. This is a therapist. I'm a therapist. This is look. Yeah. Even down to the job I have. I work with people who are in their addiction. So I was telling them, I'm like, I work with it. I come home to it. And then I help my family. I have a brother who's an addict. So I'm literally in the depths, in the sea, swimming in addicts and people lost. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, how did I come this far? How did I get to this place where I literally thought I was going to fucking lift all these people up on my shoulders and do it successfully without, I never once questioned or thought it would ever have an effect on me until it fucking did. And then that's kind of when the awakening started. And I was like, wow, I can't live like this. What is it within me? I can't blame him anymore. I can't be mad at him for his drinking. The girls is dead drink. Am I just gonna be mad at everybody because they've done, I chose this. This is conscious. Okay, so I recognized this. There were red flags. I knew this. I left and came back. He left and came back, but I still continued. What was that? Why did it? And so it was no more about him. It was no more about the alcohol. It was no more about anything else. There was no other layers, but like self, girl, self.
Did you ever find out what was the root of that? Why you were?
I think the root of it mainly, definitely, was some of us need a reason and a something to overcome, right? Like I took it on even though I knew it was you know what I'm saying?
I know.
But there's something in that kept me going. I fucking went to school during that time with this man drunk, with this man not working.
Something in what? I missed it, sorry.
Something about having to overcome or like gain, right? Not consciously, but subconsciously, like I'm fucking rising as this man, and so he's not coming with me. I'm trying to take you with me on this journey. I'm getting my education. I'm happier.
You're ascending.
What are we doing here? Like the kids are getting bigger. Let's buy a house. Like we're making more money. Let's, you know what I'm saying? And then I was just like, fuck. And then I started to see myself. I started to like question my own self. Like we could be, as empaths can be selfish, and we can be we can be narcissistic. The two fucking go together. They're polar opposites, but they're almost one and the same. I started to see how I was controlling him, and I used to be like, I'm fucking sorry, like I'm like this. Why don't you go your own way and I go my own way, and I can work on myself and you can work on yourself, and we don't have to do this to each other. And he was just so locked in, and I'm like, he's not getting it. He's not getting it. I've seen the light. I don't want to be attached to him anymore. I'm trying to break free, and he can't let me like. And so when we finally did go our separate ways, so he, like when I was on the podcast a year ago when I first talked to Lewis, he had moved. I had just woke up one day and I was like, fuck, wake up. And I was just like, I'm choosing to not do this anymore. And he went down there and he left, and it was like 4 months, and then it was like, okay, now I'm up here and I'm alone. And oh shit, this is too real right now. Never been alone. I've always been in a relationship.
Me too.
Always.
This is my first time being single, like on purpose.
Oh, right? It's all, I'm always attached to the hip somebody.
You too, Steph?
Yeah.
So 2 relationships. I was with the girl's dad for 4 years. 1 year of single, singleness. And then got with Slim.
But you didn't get to heal it from that.
Never healed.
Slim's his nickname, by the way.
Slim's the nickname, yeah. So literally 13 years of my life, you know, a little under half of my adult life with someone, girl. So
it was more for me like after I left my ex-husband, because like he became verbally abusive. And when we started dating, he told me that he was raped when he was younger. But he didn't remember until he was in his 20s. So he recalled the blackout. So I knew that was going to be a problem, but I still went along with the relationship and the marriage. And that was what caused him to be verbally abusive. To the point where he actually took a knife out at me and almost stabbed me. Okay. And I was like, what the hell? Like, we were just arguing about a phone bill. No, a credit card bill, sorry. A credit card bill. And, and it was like, because we were trying to get his mom here to the U.S. So we're trying to get our money situation together. And you're spending, carelessly. I'm like, no, I actually, I was just buying clothes.
Yeah, just shopping. Like
it was just shopping. I'm sorry. I'll pay it next time. But the thing with that, it was that, like, that scared the crap out of me, first of all, because my husband took a knife out and like literally grabbed my hair and like cocked it back like he was gonna stab me. And I'm like, whoa, this became too real, too fast. Why are we? Because before that, I had a feeling like, man, this guy's gonna hit me somehow because he's always so aggressive with his mouth. And I would offer, go to therapy. You need to get some therapy. You are angry at me for no reason. I don't need no therapy. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to change. I'm never gonna change. I'm like, well, okay. So I started feeling like I was bipolar because I'm like, like what's wrong with me? Like, because he was flipped, like in front of my mother, in front of my brother. Like, it wasn't like hidden. It was in front of my family. So
the proof is there. You're seeing him go from one side to another. Yeah.
So when I almost got stabbed and I told my brother and my brother was like, what did you do for him to do that? Instead of actually acknowledging that I almost got killed by him.
Everybody's programmed. Yeah.
So nobody really gave me that comfort. I had to go from that, and then my mom was dealing with that same husband that when I left, they ended up getting married.
Mm-hmm.
He was verbally abusing her. So now I left my relationship because I had a friend tell me, like, you know, Annette, I do not want to go to your funeral. Like, I need you to get out of that. And it woke me up. I was like, yo, if he's willing to, like, hurt me, then he doesn't care about my life. Mm-hmm. Why would I be with somebody that doesn't care about my life?
Question. You're starting to see it. You're starting to see from the outside, like, what is this?
It's bad. I was like, what the hell? And it was always it was always me. And, you know, going back to my dad always giving me guilt trips about things, right. I accepted it. I was like, well, maybe it is me. So I was just like, yeah, it is me. But I knew that it wasn't me. It was him.
Right.
So, like, it was really bad. Just the fact that
I remember listening to your podcast. I remember you saying, like, you met up with your dad later and he finally admitted.
Yeah. That was actually so big because I remember telling him, like, you know, it's your fault. Mm-hmm. You're the reason why I'm dealing with men that is always blaming me things about, you know, blaming me for other things. Mm-hmm. When in reality, like, I was a little girl. Like, I was a teenager. I was actually a little girl.
Right.
Like, I wasn't an adult. And he was like, you know, you're very intelligent, which is, like, so sarcastic that my dad used to, like, he would call me intelligent but call me stupid. Like, oh, you're so intelligent. Like,
but he's being sarcastic.
Yeah, like, so I was like, oh, you finally get, like, yeah, I'm not stupid. And you need to stop it. Like, you're a grown man. And
it's like he's picking on you. It's like bullying you as his daughter.
That's been constantly my thing. My people in my own family have bullied me a lot. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sensitive and they can tell.
What do you think that played?
What? They belittle you?
Bully me a lot.
Bully you? Same thing.
Yeah.
I got bullied by my fucking family.
My mom, my dad.
I spoke about it on the podcast, yo.
Yeah.
Every one of them niggas in their own different ways. They're all fucking insecure. They're all jealous of my soul. Guaranteed.
I believe that because
that is the exact fucking reason. I've never like done anything really financially, even to say.
Right.
You know, I never, even though I could have been a woman, I never did that. I never been a male whore. All I could have easily been.
Right.
I fucking just served. I always kept my whole shit was just pure. I stayed pure. I stayed true to myself. And they fucking realized it. They must have saw themselves slipping through my eyes. And realize that they're fucking.
It's the recognition of their own soul.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So that mirror effect, right?
I didn't know that I was doing that to people.
That is exactly what it is.
That's your gift. That is your gift.
It's not your gift. We all.
That's impact.
When
we're talking about her story, so I'm just like.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a gift in the lesson of it, though. You know what I'm saying?
But then after that relationship, I ended up getting with a guy who was younger than me, but then he was also he had mommy issues where his mom was so strict that he became like super socially anxious. He couldn't walk the street. Like really anxious. So I was like, well, you know what? I can help you because I was anxious, and I said I can help you out. I live by myself. I've been through a lot, and I'm still positive. I'm going to school. Like I can teach you how to.
The poster child and the light. So come on to this side.
And he drained all my light. That I was. Woo! I had all like I was crying daily.
That's what you were asking for, though.
But remember how I talked about it's a choice. We choose. We're conscious.
Exactly.
We are fucking walking into it
and
knowing.
It's our own self-neglect is the reason why we get with them in the first place. We don't want to acknowledge the hurt that we've endured and that we have to finally face.
We don't even want to try to fix it.
Yeah. No, it's too. I felt like it was too much work. Like it's
easier to fix and point at others.
Exactly it.
It's so true. I had too much to work on. Let me just help you. But then I'm already depleted.
Yeah. And then you're wondering, fuck, why am I so exhausted? Why am I so irritated? Why am I so mean? Fuck, you start really seeing that like, yo, there's so much I'm not. And we put all that blame. And I was like, I started to really look at that situation like, we cannot, it wasn't right. And that was still us escaping and neglecting our own soul. And us trying to work towards that healing and that ascension, that growth.
It's like we are going to be there.
We are very much.
I've been wanting to have that person to lean on. I've always been the person that people lean on. Mm-hmm. So, like, this, like, a simple hug was hard. Like, what the hell? I couldn't even get a hug. That was like, I was getting hit in different little ways because I am a person that pays attention to the small things. I could smile for anything, you know?
Right.
That's why
I could tell. You do. You kind of do already.
So it's just because of that.
Dry mouth.
Yeah.
So I've had men that wanted to dim my light, and I recall that those are the same demons that come after me. Like they'll be around me, but whenever I'm in a high vibration, it's like the demon around whoever's around me that's weak. They get angry and they'll like try to make me feel like I'm doing something wrong. I've noticed that pattern, and it's happened with people that work with me in relationships.
It's not weed.
It's not weed. It's not weed. Nah, try it. It's good.
Okay.
It's very good. This calming herbs. Yeah.
Ooh,
that's minty.
Yeah, it's minty. Yeah, it's nice. It's relaxing. Just helps you breathe better.
The relationship was really toxic, the last one, but he was the one telling me I was crazy, and I was like, you know what? If I'm hurting you this much, I love you enough to go get help.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to go get help because he didn't know what was wrong with him. And then
he wasn't at that point to even recognize.
My therapist was like, Annette, he's a narcissist.
Woo! There it is.
And I was like, what is that? What do you mean? And now I was trying to like fight it, like, no, it's not true. He can't be.
Did you know you were an empath already when you found out he was a narcissist?
I did, but you know what's crazy? He used to say he was the empath too.
They fucking do. They swear up and down they're empaths, yo. I mean,
hold on, shut up, listen.
No, I don't ask him.
Wait. I'm gonna ask Stephanie. Did you ask Emmanuel is he an empath?
He said he was. Because I said I was. Because I'm the one that came to him and said,
don't say you are!
Yeah, don't say you are.
Don't say you are, you dingbat!
Well, I'm not going to do this.
In the future now.
Slow life.
Yeah, well, I'm
past life.
I'm also recording this shit.
This is past life.
Niggas out here listening, don't do that, yo.
They'll suck you dry. But
don't tell somebody you're an empath. I'll put it this way. Because somebody asked that question, right? I think it was Michelle.
I was trying to tell him he was a narcissist, so I was educating him on empath, narcissist, relationships. I'm an empath. You're this.
What's the point? A narcissist doesn't even care.
You're right. So fucking beyond me. Like
that's another reason why I not even bother telling them. Because if you're an empath, you'll already know. And you're saying it shouldn't have to be fucking like the connection we have. It can't be explained.
Right.
Can't be explained. There's no way. The bond we have, it's not in this lifetime.
I know.
So I'm not gonna bother to explain that shit. She probably I think she probably was like she had to be like a wife or some shit or a love relationship in a past life. I'm telling you, our connection is just way too fucking natural. It's way too raw.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Do you feel that way?
I've like first fucking conversation. I was like, fuck. Yeah. I feel like I know this dude. It's such a trip.
I've interviewed like fucking probably 30, 40, 50 empaths. I've never felt that way with something like that before I interviewed her.
And also I think we're very much into like we're alike. Like we talk about like attracts like it's a mirror image.
Yeah, it can
so
also
you recognize a lot of yourself.
It's also a little bit of genetic thing too, right? Because we have similar genetics, you know. We obviously taller, but
yeah,
we both have kind of that Afro-Latino thing going for us too.
We could be related.
All of us.
All three of us. When I saw you on the screen, I was like, she got the puff, you know, like we family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm saying we all have ties. I'm gonna say obviously.
I know we do.
But you feel them in different ways. Like and now I was like, she is so pure. I was like, you know, could you feel
I felt that like fucking first time I heard him interview you, I was like, oh my god. First I loved your accent, but then I was just like listening to you, the structure and how you talk, the words, how they flow. You know what I'm saying? You're feeling when you got emotional. That's when I sent him that message. I'm like, oh my god! Like I had to tell her I finally heard her podcast. Like that shit. I'm sitting there in my house and tears were strolling down because I connected with that shit for real. I really did. I felt everything you felt. Everything.
I feel a lot of pain, a lot, like people's energy. So I don't know. I guess I had to. I really think I didn't even know or think that of myself because I was like, whatever. But the guy that I was with, he said, I saw your innocence. She's like,
he fucking admitted it.
Yeah,
because that's what they do see.
Because his mask slipped, and he at the end when I saw that he was it was like a horror movie. Like I was like, you know what, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Because he was manipulating me. We weren't together anymore.
I don't think I'm getting it.
And when he did that, I decided. Like I had one of my friends that lit on that light all the way. There you go.
Keep talking. Technical difficulty. The bitch can't light this blunt here.
Shut up. I'm bad with technology. I'm bad with lighters.
No. You know what it is? It's this paper. It's thick. It's thick, and you really have to really use your lungs. Okay. That's what it is. So yeah. So, I like it though. It burns slow.
When I visited him, he actually had me go to his house on Valentine's Day to help him do his taxes. He already had his clothes out, so he was going out with another girl. So he tried to humiliate me, and I was like, wow. All right, God, I'm out. So I was like, yo, you know what? I need to end this, like, for sure. I can't be his friend. So the next day, he called me, oh, what happened? Like, why don't you want to talk to me anymore? I thought we were good, because it was always back and forth with him.
Right.
And then when I told him, you know what? You think I'm stupid? Like, you had a whole girl calling you. Like, leave me alone then. I mean, if we're supposed to be friends and you love me like you say you do, but you're doing that, you don't love me. Just let me heal. Let me heal from this. And then maybe in the future we might be friends. After all the abuse and all the crap that I went through, I still loved him. I still do love him. It was never fake, Yeah. But the thing is that when I was doing that, he's like, you know what? He started spazzing on me and calling me psychotic. I was already mentally messed up. I believed it. I had to call my brother like, yo, he's calling me psychotic. Am I? Like, am I?
I want to talk about that. Real quick. Because you know what? That's part of our gift as empaths, right? Do you know that?
What?
Us, our ability to not see ourselves. Right? That is the gift that allows us to empathize so strongly with others, is that we don't see ourselves.
That's so hard. It's so hard.
Does that make sense?
Because I was like, I never want to hurt anyone. Because I know how it is when you hurt somebody, how long it can take for you to get over it.
We see ourselves in others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's So I think what it is we see they're a polar opposite of us, right? And we see ourselves in them. They represent a false self or self of part of ourselves that we haven't dealt with or are afraid to deal with. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like a sickness, If you don't deal with the root of it, eventually it might spread out into a rash or something physically you can see. But it stems from the inside.
Yes.
That's the issue.
It's a product of your unhealed soul.
Correct. That's exactly it.
It was bad because that guy, everything that happened.
I spoke about that in that podcast. I said when you begin to ignore your soul, like those demons come as a reminder.
And it comes as a human form.
Yeah, human form as a reminder.
It's freaking scary because his mask slipped.
Yeah.
He was calling me psychotic. Yeah. I started believing it. He was saying that the girl that he was with was listening to the conversation, and I was like, "Oh, so you're doing like some
dirty."
Yeah.
Those demons are those demons are manifestations of shit that's within us, though.
Right.
We have some stuff that we haven't dealt with.
Yeah. So here's a quote: every living thing is an aspect of something within you, right? Mm. So to fix a problem you have externally, go within and handle it within inside yourself, and then you'll see as you raise your vibration, those vibrations can no longer exist, and eventually they'll go away. That's the key.
I had to realize that I hated myself. And I was self-destructing.
It's accepting what
because her father used to make her feel bad because she basically gave his brother an ultimatum because he was a drunk. He used to make the house disruptful and hard to live in. And so she's like, I'm going to leave at 14 unless dad leaves. Mm-hmm. And so the mother told the father that, and the father made her feel guilty about it. Like, why do you hate me? Why do you hate me? All the rest of her life, her adult life.
And I'm like, I just want to spend. I just want to have a relationship.
She was attracting based upon the spirit of that, whatever that left in her, right? That began to attract those type of men into her life for that unresolved problem based upon her father, not loving her and blaming her on top of that.
And I was accepting the blame from people that were just abusing me, like, mentally.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, I didn't know I was dealing with that. So then the root of that was the fact that my mom used to hit my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh my God, this is deep. Like, all the stuff, the reason we do certain things have to do with what we see as children.
Trauma. Mm-hmm.
And we
are an open fucking book as kids. We are absorbing everything. When we're babies, we look at our parents as God, right? I don't know anything else but you.
Yeah.
I learned how to talk, walk, everything. You're my, so you're teaching us how to live our lives, how to be and exist in this world. Mm-hmm. The good and the bad. And I was starting to really look at that like, fuck, yo, I am showing my daughters. I'm literally walking their hands and going, this is what you do. To be the narcissist, and this, right? Like this is how we continue the fucking generational curse. Right here.
Yeah. Talking about generational curses, my family has this tendency of shushing things that are bad.
You know what? It's something we do in the community, period.
I'm like the one that's like, no, like, speak up.
Well, it was a way to protect ourselves, right? From the laws, from all of that.
Because they knew that they would punish fucking black men or men of African descent a lot harsher than they would whites.
But if they were pedophiles, they need to go to jail.
No, and that's it. In that sense, yes. But I'm saying,
but women still protected that shit too.
Yeah,
that fucked us up psychologically.
That's true too. That's true too.
Another level.
That's true too, though. That's funny because I interviewed a lot of empaths, right? And I interviewed this one gay empath, right? Gay dude. I'm surprised to hear a gay dude come to me, talk to me, because I don't, I'm gonna say, I don't, I'm like, fag this and whatever, homo that, I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I don't have any issue with them. The point is that
the thing is, he was still receptive enough.
He was so moved by my podcast and what I had talked about that he felt comfortable opening up to me about his life. Yeah. I'm gonna say, and what he'd gone through, and he said that he grew up around a bunch of women. That he grew up, like his house was like a matriarchy.
Most of them do.
Right. So out of slavery, a lot of it went into that system, right? Like a matriarchal system, and the women there all had gone through similar traumas of being molested, and there was this guy that came in, and it was his turn when he grew up. They didn't stop it, man. It was weird. I don't know what it was. Almost like they're also traumatized. Yeah. But what they went through as children, that it's almost like they just, I don't know.
They enabled him more, and in a way, because they didn't like. It's weird to explain because it's in almost every family.
I think it's called. It's called Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm.
They're in a state of Stockholm syndrome.
Also cognitive dissonance. You become immune. You become adjusted and immune to the dysfunction. There's no more recognizing the wrong and it or bad anymore. We are subjected to it in the sense that it is normalized, right? It is very much just part of the family, and you don't rat on family, and you don't say nothing because they'll take your kids away. You know what I'm saying? Even like my mom, she didn't put her hands on us, but like I remember her saying, like when she would threaten, like, go ahead and call the police because you know who will be at the door, kind of shit. Like that just has always stayed with us, and especially even the child rearing shit, even beating. I don't know, growing up like
with the Bible, throw the shoe at you, all that.
Yeah. So that was part of it. Like we've just been hurting ourselves, our babies, each other as partners. We've been running to the white man, getting help, thinking he's going to save us, and breaking up families for generations. And we are a product of that. You know what I'm saying? And so because of this generation that we're in now with all this technology and us having to really fully exist on these terms, is so much pressure we can't do it. We don't have the tools. We don't have the resources. We don't even know what to call it. Let alone recognize that it's fucking dysfunctional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so many of our communities. That's why we see so many kids out here, these boys going to jail for hitting their girlfriend. They're young.
They're 17, 18.
And they're angry, right?
And by the way, the last guy that I was with was 6 years younger than me.
Wow. See, that is our young black male. Listen.
And I thought he was like really empathic. And it wasn't like I told him. It was just like he was talking about he was an empath. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I think I am too. I said I think because, I didn't know exactly what the term meant.
Let me ask you this. How did you ladies know that I was an empath?
Huh? You saying the same things that I was experiencing.
That's true. I do have a podcast.
You do have a podcast.
That's true. That was a dumb question, though.
But I think once we recognize...
But how did you...
While we were talking to you, like...
People can say they're an empath, though. People can say they're an empath, right? I've seen some bitches and just some fucking, some white bitches.
How did you know we were empaths? You're the one that's supposed to sort us out and recognize who we are and allow us to. But
I'm saying I'm a man. You're women that have been hurt by men that have said they're empaths.
Okay,
right.
You must have been like,
you know,
every man that I've met that says an empath and not been an empath. How would you know?
You know why? Because even when he was telling me he was an empath, I didn't believe him.
So why'd you get with him then?
It wasn't
prior. It wasn't before.
Yeah, we were already getting together, but he was saying he was an empath. I think he was trying to make sure I was. Because he was a narcissist.
Part of the manipulation.
Yeah, because he was trying to suck my energy, my light out. Because the more I spoke about my pain, because I never spoke to anybody about it.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, I felt violated.
But you didn't believe him anyway. You should have gone with your intuition. Part of this also is us wanting to fucking trust our fucking intuition.
Yes. So I didn't finish my story about him going to Texas, whatever. He left, calling me down there. Like, I need you. You've always said you want to come to Texas. We don't have to make up right away. Bring the girls. I went down there, and he proposed to me, and I said yes. On some.
Oh no, Steph!
I did.
I'm sorry.
He proposed to me, and he was like, "I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and we're gonna make this work." And all of that still wasn't enough. I was like, "Okay, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna try this again. Come back."
That's because you. Oh God.
And I got so talking to Lewis this next round. He's like, "Fuck, why you been ignoring my black ass? How come you haven't been a part of it?" I'm like, I can't be a part of something when I'm like not fully existing in the ways I want to over here. I can't blend both worlds. Like, I want to be over here, but I'm still holding on, thinking that there's a possibility that maybe something can shift from this. And I knew it was like a month in. It was not even a month in. It was immediately. I was like, this is a fucking mistake. A fucking mistake. And so I've been practicing detachment. Like the last year, it's only been maybe 2.5 months. And I finally was just...
What's that like? What's that like, practicing detachment? Speak on it.
It's really hard. It's
Please,
really hard because it's not like, I'm just going to ignore this motherfucker today. It's like, no, I'm going to totally like cast you out of my system. I'm not going to be sexual with you. We're not going to have sex.
How was that?
Period.
Is that hard for you?
No, because when you are emotionally wounded by your partner, sex anyways isn't going to be... It's not anything I yearn for. I don't even want to. I'm not even enjoying this actually. Gotcha, so stop.
Yeah.
But no, just on that spectrum, like it was. Yeah, I'm not gonna lay next to you. There's not gonna be any type of physical contact between us. Matter of fact, when you look at me, I'm not even gonna look you in your eye. You know what I'm saying? Like to every level that I could detach, and then the kids started to notice it. So it was really just like the family breaking up slowly but surely over a few months, and I gave him back his ring on this isn't real in terms of your intentions or what we're doing behind it. You're not willing to change. Matter of fact, we never even talked about a plan for sobriety or us just healing or going to therapy. We're not even talking about getting married. It's like almost like this pawn and this thing that you did to come back to pull me in. You know what I'm saying? Consciously and subconsciously, narcissist. You know what I'm saying? I got you now.
How they say they want the supply. We wanted to keep getting the supply from you.
So they came back.
And we want to keep ignoring ourselves.
But through that process of detachment though, see, because that was the shift and that was how I was able to go, so if I break this cycle somewhere, I can protect my heart and I can really hold steady and fast to what I know is truth. Because once you are sexual, once you open yourself up intellectually, once we bond and connect on these terms and in these realms, then I'm open enough to where I will ignore myself. And if I just continue this focus, and it was hard. It was really, really hard. And as I was evolving, he was slowly going down and down. He was in between jobs. He was going through a depression, but I had just finished school and I was just getting my position. I was like, I cannot go into this environment where I'm helping these broken, wounded souls and taking your pain and my pain and then try to transmute their pain. I can't. It was too fucking much. I was in that place like, if I don't figure out, literally like while during a one-to-one, thinking to myself while this girl's talking to me, feeling myself kind of slip away. If I don't do something soon, I'm going to be sitting where she's sitting. I'm going to be on that side, talking to somebody about my life and what the fuck went wrong. And so I was like, okay, I need to change my life. Started to just have serious conversations. And just like you talking, oh no, we're gonna be together. No, I'm the empath. Not hearing anything. I started really look at that as being just like pointless. At this point, there's no reason to even really try to hold this conversation or convince, because at this point, I'm not trying to convince him. I'm still trying to convince myself. And when you know, like you said with Facebook, when you know, you don't have to announce. You don't have to say or do anything. So I just stopped. I just stopped the communication. I just stopped the interaction. And he took that and really got self-conscious and insecure. He thought I was sleeping with other people. He thought I was messing around. He thought I was sneaking around. I had a friend who had knee surgery. Matter of fact, she had on both knees. And she had no help. I was going over there. I was helping her get around, prep her meals and stuff. And I was, still curious enough, like, I'm going to go over here and take care of my friend. I'm going to be gone. This is what we're doing. And he just wasn't buying that. He was like, okay, obviously you're cheating on me. I'd still call, I'd still check and be respectful, come back. Hey, I was with her. You call her phone, didn't want to listen to it. He got drunk one night and we ended up having a domestic dispute. He hit me. And so, yeah, I didn't defend myself. The police were called. Cops came. Cops were really, really professional, and just like in the context of, it wasn't me being spiteful and take this nigga out, and it was like, no, something happened here, and like he's spiraling out. He needs help. This has never happened. We've had little things like when we were younger. With this person almost 10 years, like childish shit, like I'd throw something at him, but like he full-fledged, like just, and I was telling Liz, I was like, fuck, I felt like that was his demon.
Yeah.
Coming out and fucking targeting and attacking me like, bitch, I got you. You're not going to let me go, because that's what he recognized. Like, she's done with me. There's no, like, I'm losing her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've lost control. What do we do with like a little kid who can't have the way they have a fucking fit?
That mask come off.
The mask come off, girl. And he was like, yo, and like, that was what I needed. It's sad to say, but I needed to take it to the full fucking terms of where it could go.
Yeah.
To really be able to recognize and understand, yo, this is okay. So I really can.
You were making choices in your head to leave him anyway.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, but you wanted to see.
But I still stayed, because I could have literally just been like, you gotta go anytime.
A long time ago.
Any of that night. It wasn't a year.
I'm saying when you said your will and intent, because we were speaking, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I said something to you, like something about like something, but the energy was just like, just get it done. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
And just I'm sorry, just in terms of her emotional shit that she's been neglecting. You know what I'm saying?
So I didn't tell, like I wrote something down in my journal about wanting to move forward and be done and just move on and heal from this. And literally it was like the next fucking day. Ooh. I really look at that shit. It's powerful, man. When you fucking put thought to paper and you transfer that shit, I'm telling you, I felt that shift. I felt him recognizing that I was done with him, and that's why he did it. It led to that. It was like a catastrophe. It was easier for him to go, but it was already over. Way before him having to,
that's what I'm saying. When you shift your energy, you change your vibration.
That's what it is. And that's why it led to that, because it was fucking over. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly it. And
it was over. And that was like...
Then the demon comes out.
I'm not going to let you go.
Always, because that's what happened to me. It came out when I was like, I'm done. Yeah. Oh, you this, that. I'm like...
And they know you're done. They recognize that you're done. They recognize that you're not going anywhere. Like, or that you're going somewhere.
Why are you speaking to me like you hate me when you were 2 seconds ago saying that you wanted to be with me? What? And I had like a lot of moments in my life where I would pray for something. Like I remember praying one time, God, I want to know if this guy loves me. Like no lie, that same day towards the evening, he was like, I don't know why. I feel like I want to tell you I don't love you.
He said it like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
And I was just like, wow, well, thank you for saying that you don't love me. But then I was just like, I was so gone. I didn't think that was my answer. Like, I'm trying to tell you that this guy doesn't love you because he was narcissist. But I needed to go through that because now I can see, like, if a person is acting a certain way, I can tell there's some type of spiritual influence now. It's not just the person itself. It's some spiritual influence. Mm-hmm. What is it?
Right.
You could ask a few questions and it comes out. And it just flows out.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I had to go through that to now see, like...
What can we tell that young Black women, or Black women in general, in terms of not waiting to the extreme? Because that could ultimately be their life.
Their life. Yeah.
So what can we say, or what can we pass on? Because like this is what I'm literally trying to undo and reverse in terms of raising my daughters. They've seen so much, and I've already kind of like had to do some real digging and accepting within, and just understanding and knowing that, okay, ultimately it'll be their life, whatever they do when they're grown women moving forward. But here it is. I hold the key to their existence. Literally, I feed them, I clothe them, I give them life every day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I have to be present for them emotionally, right? I have to show up for them in ways that, you know, sometimes I don't show up for myself, that I'm still working on. And if they choose to be with these men, I got to know and understand and accept, okay, this has just been part of the bloodline. This has been part of the generational curse. This is something that they will have to unlearn and undo. And that connects back to what we talk about in terms of the process of like soul involvement, is recognizing that unhealed part of you and inside that you need to first work on, that we could try to tell somebody, and until they fucking recognize and wait, was that
there's juice inside?
Oh shit.
No more CBD for this bitch. Cut off everything. It's okay. There wasn't much in there anyway.
I'm sorry.
That was
and
adorable.
I seen the cup. I was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You want some more juice though?
Yes, please.
I feel like
it's an individual process. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I can say for younger girls, like, talk to the guys and ask them, like, how was their childhood? Like, just getting to know them.
On a real level.
Like, hey, like, were you ever, like abused? Like, we're adults now. So, like, we can't just be like, oh, because there's people that talk about suicide. There's people that talk about abuse. They talk about harassment. So we can all just say, hey, like, you know, like, have you ever been any, like, beaten? Like, or you can, I feel like girls.
And not look at that as just the only way to connect. Move past the trauma bonding and know that, okay, that's a level of getting to understand each other's past and history, but
to know how you are now.
Yes, don't let that be the reason, thinking that you're gonna fix them. You're gonna heal them.
It's all about knowing that if you want to even get into that, that's gonna be too hard. Like with the guy that I was with, he has mommy issues in such a way that I kind of looked at her a little bit with my cheeks. So when he was yelling at me, he was yelling at his mother. So
wow.
Yes,
it looks like her. Okay.
I had some features of like just the chubby cheeks. She has that, and I was very motherly. So he said, "Why are you so motherly?" And the energy that he always wanted from his mother, I was giving him because that's my natural way of being.
The warmness, the nurturing, the loving. Yeah.
So he would. But you see, I had to listen to what was going on with him. I remember telling him, "Yo, I'm so mad that your mom treated you like crap because now you treated me like crap, and I'm actually a really good woman. It's so messed up." And he would look at me like, you know, I can't do nothing about my anxiety. You know, she messed me up. So just knowing it, and not that you're gonna fix the person, it's just so that you can know, okay, do I really want to get myself involved in this? Because I can't. Like, these men that have these issues where they get raped, stuff like that, if they haven't healed or not open about something that happened to them,
right, they're not doing the work.
No, and they're gonna just drag you down.
Because it's not to say like, oh, I don't want to be with anybody who's like,
nah, but you gotta choose your battles.
You ain't gonna find
right. They're gonna destroy you, because I've done it 2 times. One of them was raped when he was younger, and the other one, his mom was verbally abusive and mentally abusing him. And they both were 2 completely different cases, and they both verbally abused me. And all I was doing was trying to be their lover, the person that they needed.
Right, and not to flip this and put highlight to those traits and those characteristics of why we do that, but God, that just shows me, and I know this already, we know this, but like how fucking beautiful and powerful we are to love to that extent through fucking disaster and chaos. Damn near death, right? I will love you until you know what I'm saying? Until there's nothing left for me.
Yes, and
I will stay.
I will neglect myself into this.
Yo,
there's nothing left for me either.
Because it's like that's the, you know how you say, Louis, that it's like the that we have to suffer. But all we know is good. So
that's true. It's naivety.
Yeah, it's in us, and that's what makes us so powerful.
Yeah.
Because little kids,
and naivety is also another word for purity. Purity,
innocence.
Naivety.
That innocence, the child. It's the child.
Yeah,
they still have that, because little kids will be like, "Hi," and I don't even know them. I'm like, "Hi."
They sense it. They sense your soul still online.
Yeah.
Right? They sense that childlikeness within you. Yeah.
And when I was going through my craziness, the kids were not as friendly, and it
was fuck with you. It was like Stephanie's cat. It was like Stephanie's cat, yo.
Oh my God! So
this no, fuck that. Stephanie, you're not gonna tell them really what happened, are you?
No, I don't know.
Yo, I don't give a fuck, yo. This girl, unfortunately, she had a demon, yo. She had a.
Go ahead and talk about it. We were live on conversation on Facebook, and we were talking about some things from my past when I was like just very sexual promiscuous and just out here, just on a roll, right? Like just put myself out there consciously to get fucking hurt because I did not have anything left in me to want to help myself, like consciously. So I'm talking to you, and like it was a picture that we both looked at. It was of me, and you can. I had like this long twist in my hair, and I was skinnier, and I was just like, oh.
Oh yeah, you know? She was looking good. I ain't gonna lie, she was looking good. I was like, oh shit,
and so I had shared it with him, and then I started like unpacking and like going somewhere in that story, and then like things started to come up.
I could feel her energy shift.
And he was like, yo, you want to get on video real quick or some shit? And I was like, okay. And then we were like talking, and I just was not wanting to take it serious in the moment. I was laughing, giggling. I was just very playful.
She was talking. She had just confessed about this, some type of sexual rampage days in her. Yeah, when she was in her teens. Yeah. It was some shit that was borderline. Like she could have easily been fucking captured and been one of those sex slave girls.
Yeah,
because she was putting herself in jeopardy with men that were a lot older than she was.
That's a big chunk of my teen
years.
Yeah,
and so she developed. What happened was, go back to the beginning. You lost your virginity to a man that you thought was supposed to be there for you and love you. Mm-hmm. Also came out of a household that where your mother never told you who your father was. Yeah. She never knew her father, so she's seeking that masculine love in this man, right, giving herself her virginity to. Right. She was so badly hurt by that she wanted to in a sense take her power back from men.
Revenge. Fucking mad.
She's like, I'm gonna
fuck all y'all motherfuckers. I didn't care.
Oh yeah, and the guy, after she had sex with him, that's when she ended up finding him sleeping with what, her friend?
Good friend of mine.
Good friend of yours.
What the hell?
And so I was like, wow.
So it broke her heart. You know what I'm saying?
It broke me to pieces.
She's like, this is what love is. Just fuck people and leave them. All right, so that's what she's like. All right, I'm gonna start doing that too.
Woo. Yeah. And so that picture wasn't from my.
And so the demon was born, and later I vanquished thee. I'm sorry, guys.
That picture was like a continuation from.
This thing is bugged out, yo.
I love it.
That picture was like a continuation, so like a pause, stop, and then repeat. So it was like a couple years ago.
It brought you back to that moment in time.
But it connected me back to my teen self, to my younger self, because I was still on that like roll. You know what I'm saying? And I was in my relationship, and he was cheating, and I was cheating, and this was more towards the end, or like right before he left and moved that first time. So I was just like, I don't care. And I was telling Luz, I was like, the dude was like a sexual kind of vampiristic, like very manipulative and almost like searching for the innocence in me, because this was in my job. I was interning at a drug and alcohol treatment center, and he was a counselor there, counseling young women, and was like seeking me out. So like would follow me to the max and like ride by me in his car, and I'm like thinking to myself like, and I knew too, like I knew he saw my brokenness, and I knew he was attached to my spirit. Like I'm all fucking conscious of this, and I still was like, I need to numb. It was like a drug. It was drugs. It was. I was very much addicted to it. And so I just, I would meet up with him, and we would mess around in the office and like come out like nothing happened. I'm like, finally it started to just become so much. He got a little like physical with me, and he forced himself on me. I hadn't had sex with him. There was lots of flirting, hugs, texts and stuff, but I had met with him, and he it just went too far, and I still continued. So it was Stockholm almost at that point. Like I really it was that level of martyrism again. It was just like being in a relationship with Slim and knowing I'm hurting and knowing I'm going through all this pain, but I'm staying here.
Yep.
Why am I staying here? Consciously, like laying with this man, looking him in his eyes and thinking, why am I doing this to myself? It was crazy.
Because you were hating yourself.
It was a level of self-hatred.
Neglecting yourself.
No, I knew that, but I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to the demon.
Oh God.
Unpack.
Sorry, I don't know. Everybody say I do that to people.
Unpack? Yo,
listen, I'm the queen of unpacking.
We were gonna do. It was gonna get done here.
It needs to get done. Well, we gotta get this out. I think before we meet Marcus.
Of course, yeah.
Cause this boy, he 20. He ain't done
like,
nothing.
Oh, we're gonna fuck him up. He's like, I don't want to do any of that. I just want to be a good fella.
He's such a baby. He really is.
I love a girl the way she wants to be treated.
Oh.
You know, he's be so fucked up. Our trauma.
He hasn't even had his heart broken yet, I don't think, right?
Maybe a little bit.
He might. He has a wisdom. I can tell. That's why he's so quiet.
Yeah.
But it's good that he's around us.
Yeah. You guys are good role models. Yeah.
Legit experiences. Like don't get with a girl if you're not healthy. That's what my brother taught me.
I knew that.
Right.
I knew.
My brother.
It was. Listen, I knew.
You want some of this?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Let me go ahead. No, I don't really, but I'm like, you know what? This is not weed. So.
It's not. It feels good. Like it's very calming.
Isn't it nice? Yeah. It's like some shit we would smoke back in the about Native American days and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like just a nice calm herb. Mm-hmm. Gives you a little head buzz. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I want to hear about this demon. So hold up.
Listen.
So it came up.
Listen.
I'm saying she developed the demon.
Oh yeah.
Here's my theory. Tell me if I'm wrong, Stephanie. Right, but. When you went on that angry fucking sexual rampage in your teen years, based upon what that guy did to you and hurt you and shit,
right?
You were probably seeking innocence in the same way a narcissist would have seeked it out of you later on.
Yeah, part of it was there were some. So I was telling us there were some dudes that were like, I could tell really cared about me. You know what I'm saying? Like really, it just wanted to be with me, and I started to almost enjoy at some level what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And so it conjured up this demon inside that just didn't care about the people. Didn't care. It was just gonna do whatever it needed to do to get its fill and its fix and fuck what you're talking about, right? It started there, but I was saying just even with that recent vampire, I call him sexual vampire, that resulted because prior to that I was dealing with he was younger. And I was seeking him out because he had got my attention. And I was just like, oh my God, he sees me.
Kind of a hurt, wounded.
Yeah, going through the same shit. Dude was having issues with his girl and didn't want to be around anymore. I was on Facebook talking about yo, I want to take my life. And I was comforting him. He would send me inbox messages and so it got real weird. And I was like, yo, how am I, but it was filling me up in the ways I wasn't giving myself. And I kind of conjured up the next steps to connect with him, I guess, and go there. And it happened. And I'm he was young, but I think that seeking and that trying to use and manipulate, it returned back to me through this counselor. And I'm still just, I don't know. I can't describe it. It was almost like an exchange. From what I did to him came back to me with this guy.
It would show, yeah. So basically I look at it this way, life's a dream, right? And so through meditation, we allow ourselves to master the dream internally, right? So we don't have to play it out externally in the waking dreams. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. So when you meet somebody that you feel a pull with that person, a strong energy pull, that there could be something there.
Right.
You need to
it was something demonic and spiritual about it. I couldn't stop. It wouldn't allow me to stop. It's crazy.
I understand that the last relationship I was with, it was I knew it was not going to become anything, but I felt I couldn't be without the person, but I knew it was bad for me. Mm-hmm. But it was because I always wanted love in a certain way, and he gave me that, even though it was abusive, he still gave me love. Yeah. I was okay with a little bit of love instead of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, even
that's how bad it got.
Me too, because even though this was sexual, it was very you're beautiful, you're queen, you're everything. I need you. I want you. It's just like I'm still worthy. I'm still like, you know, and I'm
But
still alive.
he's really only playing on your ego.
It's ego.
He's playing on your ego, not caring about your soul, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Because someone that cares about your soul would tell you to deal with yourself and be celibate if you need to, and spend some time alone, meditate. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Truthfully,
but
right?
You gotta be careful with those because I've had that same thing told to me.
What have you been?
He was the same narcissist.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He can tell you that you're neglecting yourself to be with him in the first place, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the truth.
Okay, that's the truth, right?
And the thing is that I was not aware that this type of spiritual stuff was really like that.
Of course. Right? How the fuck? How could you know? No one
they don't explain it anywhere.
It's not good.
Oh my god! Like, no.
Are you just a go-between?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm like a fucking cigar caddy over here.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I don't mind.
I just didn't. That's when I was like, you know what? I still have this thing where I do want my affection. I want my partner, but I'm like, I haven't been single in a long time, so I don't even know exactly what I want in the man anymore.
We don't know what we want.
You don't
find
the love within.
That's the first step.
Find love within, right? And then it'll, again, the same way the demons of the people that the shit you didn't deal with come to you, back to you, right?
Right. So the good will come.
The good will come back to you in the same way as you magnetize that from what stems from within.
Yeah.
I have a neighbor.
Woo! There it is. Y'all niggas don't get to see me dance on the podcast. I'm getting it in.
Listen, you got moves, Lewis.
Oh shit!
Oh my god.
Oh shit! Yo, chill. That needed a good laugh, yo.
No, it's good. It's good. It's Jimmy. It's your house.
No shit.
Nigga.
It's our house. This is the Ascension house, yo.
Hey.
Man.
No, I don't know what I was gonna say.
Hey, look, want to take a pause for our trauma bonding?
Yeah.
Good.
No, like
I've got
it was a processing.
I know,
because it's us like going over our history.
I know it's good. I'm so glad.
And understanding and recognizing our strengths now.
I forgot to say one thing.
Shit,
I did end up after my ex-husband. I did end up with a girl for 5 years.
Why was that? What do you think?
Distance.
What do you think that was? Was her feminine energy?
It was
her.
The thing that I wanted a man to give me that without making me feel like a piece of meat. Mm-hmm. Because my ex-husband, despite it all, he kind of made me feel like a trophy wife. Because he was 7 years older than me, he was a little bit thick. He was actually a chubby guy.
Okay.
So
he liked having you on his arm and shit.
Yeah. So it was cute, but it also like the anger and the hatred and the way that he would talk to me and call me stupid and call me all these things. Like, she was the opposite. Mm-hmm. But then it was like, I fell in love with the soul, but not, it happened to be a girl.
Mm-hmm. That's still, like, it's beautiful in the sense that, because, like, you were looking beyond the gender. Not on some, I think I'm gay, yeah. It's like, no, like, I'm connecting with this person.
The spirit.
I'm connecting with her soul on this level. And I'm do you feel like it was still like you running away from self, or did you feel like that was still
because at that point it was like I wasn't attracted to men anymore because of the trauma that I went through. Because one of the things I didn't say is that after he almost stabbed me and I went in the shower and I was crying, I come back out, he's like, "Did you learn your lesson?" I'm like,
almost on some daddy shit. Like,
yes.
Did you understand that ass whooping I just gave you?
Like, but then. Years later, I talked to him and he's like, "Oh, I blacked out. I don't remember." Mm-hmm. I'm like, "What? That does not make sense, bro." And you scared the crap out of me with that. That was some weird, but I see it was demonic.
It was all demonic.
Yep, I've had the same thing with my fucking sister. I was like, "Do you remember you called me a nigger and a terrorist?" I would never say that.
Yeah, but because it got taken over.
Yeah, she was completely taken over. Completely fucking taken over. Completely taken over.
And you're like, "I'm not."
She was a fucking vessel, yo. Straight up.
Well,
do you think it's the same demon?
For the guys,
just even like what we deal with, if this is like awesome,
no,
like,
you
like the same motherfucker like that can coexist or move or shapeshift or whatever. I think
it comes from the same source, right? So think of it this way: on the positive end, right? There's sure, yeah. No, I'm not pointing to the board, but there are so you're talking about basically, is there more than one demon? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think it's like multiple bands. You know what I'm saying? It has to be because on the spectrum of the opposite polarity, there has to be like a rainbow bridge on opposite directions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I got up here the love band, right? So love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. There's a negative polarity, and those demonic forces work on that negative polarity.
So lies.
So for example,
fear.
Yeah. So love, truth.
Right.
So it'd be a lot. It would be hatred, right? Instead, right? And then the truth, it would be falsehood, right?
Mm-hmm.
The P, love, truth, peace, that'd be probably anxiety or fear, right?
Torment.
Yeah. And then F is freedom, so it must be like control, right?
Yeah.
And then the J for justice is injustice, right?
Yeah.
So they rule the world by the negative polarity of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
And
so
the ingredients to narcissism.
I'm saying this is where those demons dwell, right?
That's right. That's where
there's five bands of those demonic forces that work together.
Right, because
right?
It's little subparts in
exactly it. Hence the pentagon. Hence the pentagon. Yeah, and so they have their own negative polarity of it. You're gonna say, and so it's they all work for the same source or people call the demiurge or whatever you're gonna say. Mm-hmm. They all work for that central demonic forward body or hive mind. But they'll fuck you up through these different modalities, right? Which are all opposites of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
It seems to be, but all I
y'all feel myself. I'm sorry. Keep going.
know. No, it was good.
That
It
was
was
sick.
perfect. Yeah,
that was sick. Yeah.
Right.
Because it's the opposite. So
yes.
They're gonna come to make sure that you're not seeking truth.
Correct. Exactly it.
They're here to shun every opportunity to get to that.
You know why? Do you know why? Because again, they gave up their right when they created this universe and created something that has a polarity of fear and anxiety and control and also all these falsities we talked about. Mm-hmm. They gave up their right to live in love. Does that make sense?
Right.
So then because of that, they had to find an external source to fuel themselves, right?
It's like a host. It's like a.
They needed a host.
What am I thinking of? Like a fucking parasite.
Yeah, exactly it.
Literally thriving and living and breeding off of you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Because they want the light that they can't have. Because they're in the darkness.
Well, they chose that though.
Right.
They have free will, right? We give them free will. That's the story,
so
right?
wait a minute. So it's like the angels that fell from heaven that are here. That's how I see it. They're on earth.
We're empaths. That's what this is, right? That's us.
Yeah. Basically, we're God's children. Yeah, but you can also say that in a sense, the people that fell also had that same right too.
And they chose.
But they chose. So the fallen angel thing can kind of go both ways. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But ultimately, we're both like it's more like angels and demons. Is there's a movie called Angels and Demons, right?
Yeah.
That's so they were angels, but they chose through their own accord to choose to rule in a pleasureful wonderland,
right?
And be the master of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They wanted to be like God. That was the thing. They wanted to be like God.
Then it's like now they're just hate God, so they hate us. So
they don't at this point. I'll put it this way. It was going to happen. A universe was eventually was going to be made. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can't have free will and then not have somebody do something fucking bad with it. Right. Eventually, you know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Exactly it. So we've gone through a shit ton of incarnations in this world, and we're finally fucking ascending now. Ooh. Think how many fucking generations we've gone through.
I don't know. I felt the urgency in my spirit for a while. Like,
yeah.
I need to do something. I need to fix something. There's not enough time. Like, that's how I felt. But I don't know what it was.
Even the process of recognizing it is painful too. The awakening is a very fucking like numbing, just like I don't even want to face the world, get out of bed. Like this is too much, too real to feel. You know what I'm saying? But we have to go through the discomfort in order to really like fucking like, I don't know, let it manifest and work through us. Right? Like it was so uncomfortable.
I'm so proud of you, Stephanie. I gotta say, on a personal note, like, I know your story, obviously, probably more than most, right? And the acceleration rate that you fucking healed yourself to get to this point from, you know what I'm saying, it's so fast.
I was on the plane, like looking out the window, thinking to myself, like, fuck, like this is what you get, and this is how it feels when you choose yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was just like this warm feeling. I can't describe it. Even driving here, I was like, oh my God, like, wow, like this is manifestation that we've created. It really is.
This shit, even now, listen, even now it feels surreal, correct?
It still does. God
damn, I guess life is a dream anyway, so, you know.
But why does it feel so dreamy? We're people. We are real.
I think what's happening is that so the theme of our retreat this year is called where was that here? Oh. It's called saying goodbye to the simulation. Right. Saying goodbye to the simulation.
Which is kind of a spin-off from your conversation with Marcus about simulation and the was it
actually I got it from something you said, because you always say that, because you were saying when you were coming out of your job
off work, because I was like, because I was telling you about the half-truth things. It stemmed from Marcus's conversation, but I was saying like, I can't wait till this is over because none of this is real anyway. But looking past that, like I want this simulation to be over. Like I can't wait until it is, so I can move forward, because this shit isn't like this shit's not real. And I don't know how to say it any other way.
And it makes me, I know what you mean, and it makes me feel like I can't enjoy like working because I don't feel like I don't even. It's not that I want to work, but it just feels like this. I know there's more.
It no longer serves you.
It no longer
serves you. It has no
purpose in it anymore.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fucking seeing that wholeheartedly. It's like it didn't matter. That fucking degree, that shit wasn't real. That piece of paper, and fucking hours sitting in that classroom, that shit wasn't real.
Stephanie,
these relationships with these motherfuckers, none of this shit's real. None of this shit's real.
Stephanie, if the women in America understand that.
But listen to me. What trips me up and why I was having, because we were talking about part of the 7 principles and what I didn't get, and I was like, I understood everything from the vibration, the correspondence to, what is it? All universe is mentalism.
Yeah, mentalism.
Like, but the part about the half-truth thing, I was like, my brain doesn't want to wrap around that. And that was because I was fighting it, because I fucking know it's true.
Yeah.
I believe that shit wholeheartedly. But I choose to stay like conscious, and that was the Facebook shit. Just being present in these ways to still be seen, so it feels real, because the shit's not real.
Correct.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you're trying to stay grounded in the ego.
Yeah, that's exactly what
literally what it is. Trying to stay grounded.
But I was telling him, I was like, it's just so confusing, because I'm like, how is none of this real? Like my children, my babies are real. Like what I've gone through is real. These feelings are real, but it's not about none of that.
It's about the soul, right? It's about the soul.
What's after this and what's coming, you know what I'm saying? And what we choose not to see when we suppress ourselves, when we,
you're it's like I'm talking about your faith right now. Like you kind of waver a little bit, I think you kind of finally started to embrace that part of you.
Well, I was okay. So I want to go back to the interview with that lady, that reporter, after those men were stabbed. So in Portland, there was 2 young Muslim girls on this MAX train. It's like on the ground subway that rides through the city. Mm-hmm. And this white supremacist was on board, and he saw all these young girls. They're probably like 15 or 16, and he just was throwing hate speech. You fucking niggers, go back to your country. Just like, they're sitting there, they're scared. And these 3 white men stood up, and they stood as a barrier between him, because he was headed towards them. And they were like, no, leave these girls alone. He took a knife, a boxcar knife, and he slit all 3 of their throats.
Crazy, huh?
2 of them died on scene, and 1 of them survived. He had his jugular cut. Like, it was crazy. Survived it, had stitches, everything. And I remember hearing about that. It's a stop before my house. The very next stop is the stop you get off to walk to my house, and then I live like 2 blocks of that. So this is literally like my neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking, it shook me to my core. Okay. I ride that MAX. I'm not gonna actually. I ride that MAX to and from work. I was riding that MAX to and from school. Like, I'm on that. So I was feeling the pain from our community. I was feeling the pain from these families. I was feeling so much. I couldn't even look when we were riding on the MAX. I couldn't even look that way. They still were cleaning up. You could still see hazards. I was just like, it was so much. I could barely sit in class. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is affecting me on a fucking spiritual level. This is deep. So there was one day, kids were in school, I had a day off, and I was like, I'm going to go down there. Because at the site where it happened, the stop, they were painting and doing quotes and memorabilia and like lighting candles and praying, and people came from everywhere. There was like monks there praying. It was just this beautiful sight. And I was like, I just want to be down there and feel this goodness that came from such a traumatic event. So I'm down there, and I probably was only there 15 minutes, and I lit a candle and talking to other people. And as I'm walking away, headed home, this white lady, she's like running after, saying, excuse me. And there's hundreds of people there. She just pulls me out. And like, do you have a moment? And I was like, yeah, where are you? And she said that she was a reporter to this spiritual, like this religious newspaper online. They have their own forum, their own website. And could she ask me a few questions? And I'm like, I'm always a little skeptical at first. I'm like, okay. She was asking me like where I'm from and what I do for work. And then she was like, why did you come here? And I was like, again, to think of myself, okay, to unite with everybody here, and just kind of take something that happened negatively and turn it into something good for me. I can walk away with this and feel, good knowing that there's people that still exist in this world that are willing to risk their lives. These men probably didn't know that, but they stood up in the face of adversity and hate, you know what I'm saying? And for me, as a Black woman that exists in this town, in this city that's mostly white, and she's a white woman, and I'm telling her, I'm like, I often walk through here and I feel alone. I feel very isolated, and a lot of us do. We're only 6% here. So I just said, so feeling and hearing this just lets me know that I'm not alone, that people do care, and people are willing to put their life on the line. And we're going further with it, and she's like, so what faith do you practice? And I was telling her, like, I'm just spiritual. Like, I'm not praying to any one deity or religious background or anything like that. I just feel. She said, well, who do you pray to? And she's like asking me this. I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, Steph, you're more than spiritual because you do pray. You know what I'm saying? So you might not recognize what that is. And I once had, I was going to a Baptist church with, the Black community. I was praying to Jesus and all, and being a part of this. But when I started school and I was taking world religions and we're talking about Buddhism, we're talking about like all these different layers, Taoism, Confucius, like all this stuff. And I'm pulling parts of everything that resonates with me. And I'm looking at Christianity. I'm seeing the ways that it's oppressed our community in terms of slavery and the abuse and how white men have used this to fucking pounce at our backs and, oppress us in these systems. And so I'm like, I don't want to subject myself. I'm thinking to myself, I'm subjecting myself to these narratives or what these white people want us to. And I'm not telling this woman this, but this is part of all that. Like why I'm telling her I'm just spiritual. Like I don't, feel drawn to it anymore or whatever. But unknowingly, like inside, like it's something just always really conflicted within me around that. It was just like, I'm feeling this way because I've been retaught to feel this way. You know what I'm saying? But this wasn't something that I just naturally just one day, it was like, I've learned all these terms and these, these things in school. So now it's like, it's changing me. But it never really resonated with me. And I was telling this, like, as of recently, I really am feeling that shift and that pull to kind of dissect that again and see how even that background of it, of them telling us that this was used to oppress us is still not actual factual. It's not real truth. And I need to really I need to get some education behind it and really learn and do the research because I don't feel like I can exist and go through this life without knowing. Yeah. I can't not know. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to just fucking call it spirituality like these white people. Yeah. And I'm not an atheist and I can't sit here and say that I don't not believe, you know what I'm saying? But it was easier because I'm trying to decenter this narrative, you know what I'm saying? Everything. I'm talking about intersectionality. So I'm talking about like, I'm putting myself in every fucking group because I just want to love everybody and know that I'm with them. And I want to, but unconsciously that's ignoring myself and our fucking community and the issues that exist with us, not putting that shit to the forefront. And I really was like pushing that aside I really was on some, this is separatism, and we need to work with them, and this is how we're gonna combat hate and combat injustice, and we're gonna fucking rise up hand in hand, fucking kumbaya bullshit. And I'm just like, yo, that I'm seeing that now.
Yeah.
And that was the attitude walking in this job, and really recognizing and seeing how our people in this field are still like, I was just like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to do what I need to do on a soul level, on a level that I know that I'm supposed to leave a legacy in this world. And what is that connected to? It's not just leaving a legacy. That's connected to some type of higher power. God, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. I'm like starting to really open myself up enough and go back through that tunnel and that darkness and see some shit that I had ignored, or that maybe, I was suppressing while I was choosing these men.
Right.
And I wasn't choosing myself, and I had to go through all this shit. I'm in the introspection now. I'm like really seeing everything.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, that woman, she prompted that for me. That shit was printed and it's online. And I read that shit and I'm just like, I pull out all the parts, and I know I can feel myself feeling the thoughts I had that day. But the part where it said like, I don't pray to any one deity, or I'm just spiritual. Like that's part of the falsehood in that. Like I could feel that too. Like I was saying that, but
pray to any one deity. You made it sound so fucking stupid too.
What?
The way you said it, because it was almost like you were saying it in a condescending way.
Well, I was.
You were.
I sure the fuck was.
Because we don't pray to a fucking deity.
I know. I was just saying whatever I could.
And you knew that she doesn't do that shit, so you were fucking being a little dick.
I was.
Yeah.
Because I just was like, I don't even know why you're stopping me right now. Like that was the attitude I had.
You were like, I don't really.
I'm telling you, college is a programming. Like this is what Marcus is feeling right now.
Yep.
This nigga is feeling the fucking assimilation and the pressure to conform to what they want us to right now.
White liberals.
It's a deprogramming to like how.
Yep. They want to keep us.
They want to
keep us here. They want
to keep us here and low vibrational, man. Like man, because I feel it at work.
Hey, weed's legal now. Come on, let's go have a big gay orgy. Yeah.
The thing is that
show me your body in his school right now, right? He was saying they have freaking things where they call it, they don't want to, it's unbody shaming, almost like fucking a lingerie show. Women just walking around in lingerie, college women, and men butt naked can come out, just waddle around.
That's
what they do.
Which is going to lead to sexual harassment.
That's what they do on their college campus.
It's going to lead to fucking.
The colleges are all with all that shit.
Yeah, because they're Ivy. Is he an Ivy League?
Yes.
But they control all that shit.
That's exactly it. All little rich ass motherfucking kids.
And that's freaking.
They're the sick ones.
Sick as fuck.
So if we're gonna be a part of these systems, we gotta accept the fact that we're still being controlled.
And those people are the ones that rule that shit.
Yeah, and there's really no. I don't want to say there's never any real changes.
Listen.
But on this level that we're talking about here.
Change has to come through these 5 principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It has to be built upon that. So the change they're bringing is obviously not built upon that.
I think the best way we can not let make the changes by just living in our truth.
That's it. That's all we're doing.
That's why we're here right now. High five!
Yes!
High five, yo!
Big hug.
I cannot, yo.
That was beautiful.
That was gorgeous.
The reason why it came out is because I was at work one day, and this white guy comes in, and he's talking to the guy, and I'm just there on the phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you're there looking like a statue," and I looked at him like, "It bothers you so much that I'm just standing here minding my business?"
Fuck, my very existence.
Yeah.
Breathing.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling Luke. I was like, look, this trip, we are about to have so much fucking fun. Literally, us being on the beach and laughing and smiling and throwing a frisbee and existing is it's social justice.
It's gonna definitely.
White people are like, why are they so happy?
If you or anyone you know would be interested in spiritual life coaching, email afroempath@gmail.com or visit us on the web at afroempath.com for more information.